What's up guys, this is Morgaming here and welcome back to another video. Today I'll be starting the new series of ultimate ship builds, and today we're going to be doing the combat one. I'll be starting this off with just the overall best ship you can probably get for whatever we're doing, in my opinion, and then I'll do a 3-episode series afterwards of basically a beginner's ship build, an intermediate build which will probably start to get into engineering, and then an expert build which will be quite a bit of grinding, quite a bit of engineering, and need quite a lot of money for. But yeah, we're going to be starting with combat today, and as you can see I'm here in my Corvette, but I'll be doing this for things like exploration, mining, and basically everything. So this will be a pretty long series, but hope you guys enjoy this. Hope you do like this content, and let's get straight into it. Okay guys, so as always we are here in outfitting, and like I said before, I am in my Corvette. So starting off, this is a very hard ship to get. It's at the very highest rank of the Federation. This is the same sort of level as getting the cutter, except for a different superpower. But yeah, this is the Federal Corvette. Very hard to get to, takes a lot of grinding out the ranks. But basically we're just going to start with hardpoints, move on, and like we always do for outfitting, but I'll go into much more detail with this, and it'll basically all be outfitting the whole video. So yeah, starting with hardpoints right here, we have 7 hardpoints on this Corvette. 2 of them are huge for a multi-cannons, 1 large, 2 medium, and 2 small. So this ship does not have the highest damage per minute in the game. That's taken by the Anaconda with 8 hardpoints, but having these 2 huge hardpoints just makes this absolutely destroy basically anything it's up against. But as you can see, these are all engineered as well, and each thing has its own purpose. And I will be changing some of the some of the upgrades, I guess, for the engineering on some of these weapons in the future, as well as other components in this ship. Another thing is that this I've sort of made to comfort my sort of skill in this game. So you can make this a very different ship depending on what your skill is, but this is basically what works best for me. So this is completely opinionized, this video. But yeah, starting with the multi-cannons, of course they are huge because that's the position they're in. But modifications here, I have autoloader and fully grade 5 overcharged weapon. Overcharged is just best for multi-cannons because multi-cannons barely take any power. It's not really going to affect your power draw, and also with an engineered power plant, I have plenty of power left over. And autoloader just allows these things to basically be firing forever as long as I have a lock on the target, which is absolutely amazing. It means I'll never stop shooting these things, and they destroy shields and hull just as fast. So yeah, absolutely amazing things to have, especially on a Corvette, and it's just probably the best thing you could put in these 2 hardpoints. Moving on, we have our beam laser. Now, for the actual thermal weapons, I have for modifications flow control and efficient weapon. The reason for this is power draw. I was trying to keep my power draw down, but that was before I had actually before I discovered the engineering of your power plant to give you more power. And actually I think I had figured it out, but I just didn't have the engineer unlocked to fully max it out. So I was trying to keep my power usage down, but yeah, this I would switch up these modifications, and I'll talk about this in another video probably for engineering. But on this I have efficient weapon and flow control just to keep down the power usage. And also flow control and efficient weapon does mean that your distributed draw is lower, which does help with continuously firing your thermal weapons. But overall these aren't the best modifications to put on your thermals, but this is just what I have. And I have 3C beam laser and 2 2F pulse lasers, and these pulse lasers right here, I'm pretty sure, yep, they have the exact same modifications. Also, these are grade 3 because I haven't gotten any higher than that, and I will be trying to grade 5 these very soon, but engineering is a big grind, especially on a ship like this, so I have not gotten there quite yet. Moving on to this 1G multi-cannon. Now the reason I have this thing here is basically just as a damage multiplier for the 2 huge multi-cannons. Now the reason this works is if I go to modifications, you can see this is a high capacity magazine, so basically it will have more rounds than the actual huge ones, which means I will hopefully never run out of ammo, and I'll always have this as long as my huge multi-cannons are still filled with ammo. And I have corrosive shell as an experimental. This basically means the damage on hull is increased for my huge multi-cannons at the top, as long as this thing is firing at the other ship. And the reason why this is turreted is so it can be firing as much as possible. So yeah, that's basically the reason for this, and it really doesn't do much damage at all. So basically, when it's shooting, it's not doing anything apart from when the 2 huge multi-cannons are actually shooting, unless it was shooting at something like a, I don't know, sidewinder. Maybe this thing could kill it by itself, who knows. And then lastly, I have this beam laser, and this beam laser here is for wings, and it has the I've forgotten how to pronounce that, but yeah, it's basically got healing on it, which makes it so this works as a normal beam laser, normal 1E beam laser, so I can use it as an actual weapon when I'm firing at enemies. But when I fire this at a teammate, it will regenerate their shields if their shields are low, and it's just an amazing thing to have, especially if you're doing a bunch of wing combat. And this also has efficient weapon just to keep its power draw down, and also so I can keep it firing as long as possible. Efficient weapon is a great thing to have on this because you're not really going to be doing too much damage with it, just like the 1G multi-cannon. So yeah, just an efficient weapon is amazing just to keep your distributor draw really low so you don't run out of power while using it. And yeah, that's basically it for hardpoints right there, and let's move on to utility mounts. Now over here in utilities, as you can see, I have 2 point defense, and these are just located at the rear of my ship, just so they have majority of coverage across my ship if any of my enemies are above me. If they're below me, it's not going to do too much, but yeah, that's basically, in my opinion, one of the best spots on the ship to have these point defense. Moving on, I basically just filled it all with shield boosters, and these are all grade 1 modified. I would definitely be getting these grade 5 very soon, depends how much combat I'm thinking of doing. But basically right here, the modifications that I have is resistance augmented shield booster. Now the reason for this is it's just overall resistance, and you just get the best resistance boost for basically everything. It does take more power draw, which is why not all of these are modified with this, but once you have your power plant upgraded, you just want to grade 5 modify everything with this, and it's just gonna work magic for you. So that's basically the utilities over and done with. I've got 6 of these shield boosters right here, and the other 2 slots are point defense. So moving on to core internals. Okay guys, so starting off here, we have our composite, our surface composite. I have the reactive stuff, and basically the reason for this is it's not the best composite to have for fighting AIs, and that would be mirrored composite. But the reason I have reactive is just if I want to get into some player PvP combat, because it's going to be much better than mirrored, and just overall it seems to be the best that you can get. If you're going to get an overall one that basically does everything, I would get this. The military grade composite is probably the best straight overall, but once you get into these higher tiers of combat, you're definitely going to either want mirrored or reactive surfers. So yeah, I've gone with reactive because it just overall seems to be the best. I'm pretty sure 75% kinetic resistance and 25% thermal resistance. That's the resistant thing. I'm pretty sure resistant percentage. But yeah, moving on, we've got the power plant. Obviously, it's A-rated and engineered. 8A power plant, and this is grade 4 overcharged modified. And I haven't added any experimentals on this just because I couldn't at the time, and I couldn't be bothered going and getting more materials. If you do want to see how to get engineering materials, be sure to check out my 3 engineering video series for engineering materials, how to get them really easy. And yeah, but that's basically what I've got for the power plant, just grade 4 overcharged, and that just gives me extremely high wattage. Used to be 36 megawatts, now it's up to 47, nearly 48 megawatts, which is extremely good for what I'm going to be doing. Now, I've got A-rated thrusters, obviously, and of course engineered. This is grade 3 engineered. Would like to get this to grade 5 because mobility on a big ship like this is key, especially for just, yeah, moving around, because these things are very huge. I'm pretty sure this is about the size of a football field, so yeah, it's going to be pretty hard to maneuver. And a Corvette is an amazing ship for mobility for its size, but getting those thruster modifications is a very big thing, and you can definitely notice the difference. Now guys, moving on to the frameshift drive. For combat, this doesn't need to be upgraded, but for getting around the system, especially in a ship like this, which has no jump range capability, it's a great thing to get. So I've grade 4'd this frameshift drive. I didn't think I'd grade 5 this, but maybe I'm not quite there. But yeah, this is grade 4 with increased FSD range, and I could put Mass Manager on this to get even more, but I haven't really focused too much on the FSD upgrades, just because it is a combat ship obviously, but it's A-rated and modified to get as much jump range as I could at the time, and my jump range here is about 25 light years, nearly 26 light years, fully unlanded. So yeah, that's basically that. Life support, I do want to upgrade my sensors and my life support, which I was actually going to do heading back to Jameson Memorial right after this. But life support here, the reason I have this as only 5C is because, of course, I was trying to keep my power drill low, but I have plenty of power left over, so I'm probably just going to upgrade this to get as much time as possible. Of course, you're probably not going to need half an hour to get back to a station, but you know, you might as well. It's always a great thing. I've blown up before while entering the mail slot of a station in an Anaconda, so yeah, I'm sort of scarred from that, got a bit of PTSD, yeah, but this is 10 minutes with 5C, but I might D or, wait, not D, A-rate it, but yeah. Moving on to the power distributor, obviously this is going to be A-rated and fully engineered. I don't think this is actually fully engineered, and this is not the best modification at all. I was again going to go with some much better things, but I'm pretty sure I got this here for power draw. Now I really want to change this and give this towards something like thrusters, weapons, or shields. But yeah, right now this is not the best thing I could get, and yeah, it does help a bit, but it's not the greatest. But yeah, moving on to sensors, like I said before, this is engineered a tad bit for long range scanner, but I'm just gonna A-rate it and engineer that because yeah, you want as much range when in combat, just so you can pick up any people around that you can just, you know, target and shoot at. Fuel tank, I'm pretty sure it's just standard 32 capacity. And moving on to optional internals. Okay guys, so starting in optional internals, we have the prismatic shields. Now, I am going to be posting a prismatic shield how to get video right after this. It's either before or after this, but I'm pretty sure I'm going to be posting it after it. Depends when I get this edited. The prismatic shield video is actually already edited, but I think I'll post this one first. But these prismatic shields, basically 7A, acting as 8A because of the prismatic, and yeah, just amazing, especially for a ship like this. If you have a much more mobile ship, maybe you want to go with something like biweaves, but prismatics are definitely a great thing to have. I still have these here, however I have bought all the prismatics I would want, which is why my balance is lower than usual. I'm pretty sure I will be switching to allegiance to someone else. Actually, I probably should do that around now. But if we hop out here, my stored modules, you can see there's just heaps of prismatic shields just in here. 2 8A, which would act as a 9A on something like a cutter. So yeah, prismatics are an amazing thing to get. Definitely get those. These are not engineered at all, which I'm going to do reasonably soon. But yeah, that's basically my prismatic shields. Then in the next two 7 slots, well, grade 7 slots, I have 7A shield cell banks. These will basically just make sure my prismatics will never ever go down in a fight, and if they do, that's basically because I've run out of shield cell banks. But yeah, my hull will be absolutely fine if my shields do go down, and if it does get reasonably low, I can always run away with the frameshift drive and also reasonably good thrusters that I have on this thing. But yeah, that's basically my shield setup, all done now. But prismatic shields, which just have an extremely long lifespan, and shield cell banks to keep these alive for just that little bit longer. And moving on, basically I filled out the whole rest of the ship with module reinforcement and hull reinforcement. The only other thing is a planetary approach suit, obviously for engineering, and I have a fuel scoop in here for getting around, as well as a 5H Guardian frameshift drive booster. I only added this recently because I have all this spare power, and as you can see, if I was to get rid of this, it would take a lot off. But yeah, basically this thing is absolutely amazing. It gives me 10 more light years. If I was to take this off, it would be less than 14 light years of jump range, but it's up to over 25, nearly 25 and a half. And yeah, this is an amazing thing to have on a ship like this, just for getting around the bubble, because you're really not going to be wanting to jump only 15 light years at a time. The rest of this here is just 5D hull reinforcements, because you can't go up to 6. I could put something like a fighter hangar on this thing, but I've just realized that whenever I get into fights, I normally forget I even have fighters, and they're often just a bit of a hassle to control and just keep my mind on that. So it's easier for me just to keep all my focus on my ship and what I'm doing, and it just means I can have some extra hull reinforcements, use less power, which isn't really an issue for me anymore. But yeah, basically hull reinforcement packages, hull reinforcement, module reinforcement. I've got about 75 to 25% hull to module reinforcements. I might put that to 60 to 40%, add some more module reinforcements, but around 60 to 40% is probably what you're going to be wanting for hull to module reinforcements. You could 50-50 it, it's really up to you, but my modules do die sometimes, especially if my shields go down, but what I've got right now seems to be fine. As you can see, some of these hull reinforcements are engineered, but they're engineered with heavy-duty hull reinforcements grade 2. I haven't really noticed a difference with this, but I definitely will once I get to grade 5, and I haven't really focused too much on engineering any of my optional internals so far. But that's basically what I've got here. You've got, yeah, just some engineered hull reinforcements, and the lower class ones are not reinforced at all with any engineering. But that's basically the ultimate combat ship, in my opinion, or to be the ultimate combat ship. Still has some engineering to do, and this is an extremely long grind, guys. It's going to take ages. Those prismatic shields are over a month of time being used, of first thing waiting for you to be allowed to get them, which takes 4 weeks, plus the grind of going down there, getting the merits from the Imperials, and yeah, that's basically just how it works. It's very time consuming, of course. Just to even get the Corvette, that's going to take ages, probably up to a month of time right there, and then plus all the engineering is such a grind. It's going to take ages to get all the materials, plus unlock all the engineers, and if I really want to fully max out this thing, I would need to fly all the way over to Colonia, and I'm not going to do this in this thing obviously, so I'd probably just take an Anaconda, which has the exact same core internal loadout as this ship, and I'll just engineer the item in the Anaconda and just switch it out back in the bubble, because I don't know about you guys, but I'm never going over to Colonia in something that has less than 50 light years of jump range. But yeah, that's the ultimate combat ship. Hope you guys loved it, hope you enjoyed, hope you learned something. Leave a comment down below if you do want to see my my little combat guide for beginners, intermediate, and experts. This will basically be ship builds for those 3 tiers of players. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Goodbye.